Alright guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys all about cameras, essentially. So cameras, very useful things. In the beginning of a lot of Roblox games, you might notice that the camera angle isn't always pointed at your character. Maybe it's pointed at like the sky or at different places. But that's all done using a camera. So there's a camera in the workspace. This is just the default camera. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So there are a bunch of properties in camera in the workspace, but the ones that we're going to be focused on are these ones. So not so much field of view, field of mode, not so much these three, or this one too, but we do need to focus on these two, definitely. So the camera subject is just the subject of the camera, what it's looking at essentially. So, for example, if I were to add a part into the game, so if I add like a part, and then make like by default, like when I join the game, if I make the camera sort of camera subject, this part, then you would just be looking at your part. But you could still like move your camera like that and like scroll and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what camera subject is. Now, and now camera type. Camera type is extremely important because there are a few types of camera types. Like, let me show you. If we play the game. So we're in the game, and in camera, boy, this lag is a lot, but click on camera. The camera type is custom, which means that we can basically move this around however we want and scroll and stuff like that. The next camera type there is attach. And that just means we can just only go like this. So we can't move it sideways or anything like that. We can still move the mouse, but we can't move the camera angle sideways. Only up and down. Then there is fixed, which is just, we can't move it at all. And it's just like that. So there's also follow. So follow, oops, nope, not watch. I meant to say follow. There we go. So follow is where the camera, it's sort of like a free cam, except the camera angle the camera follows you, if that makes sense. Yeah, like the camera angle sort of turns when you walk. All right, the next one is orbital. Orbital means you can't move it up or down, just side to side. There's also scriptable. This is the one that we need in order to be able to script it. So that means we can't move our cameras. It's kind of like fixed. But in a script, we can later set the camera C-frame to stuff. Then there's also track. There's also watch. We don't need any of those. So the one that we're going to be focusing on in this is scriptable because we need to be able to change the camera's angle, and we can't do that if it's custom, which is the default. So what we need to do is in Starter GUI, I'm just going to insert a local script. So local script, and what we need to do is in here delete the print hello world and just say local camera is equal to game.workspace.camera. Alright, and then we could just say camera.cframe. Let's just do camera.camera type is equal to. So we're setting the camera type of the camera equal to something, and this needs to be scriptable. So we say enum.camera type scriptable. There we go. So let's also just do a wait 2 in here because we just want to be able to see the effect of it. So wait 2. So after 2 seconds, it's going to do this, except it won't actually move because we just set it to scriptable. So now what we have to do is camera.cframe. So we're setting the camera's C-frame, which is like its position essentially. Not its position, what it's looking at sort of. Is equal to game game.workspace dot we need to add a part in here just to show you guys. So I'll add like a part and I'll just keep this as part, but this is just to show you. So if you looked it up a little bit. All right. And then in the local script, we just say game.workspace.part.cframe. So after 2 seconds, it's gonna take this camera variable, change its camera type to scriptable, and change the C frame to game.workspace or to this C frame, the part C frame. So if we play it and just test out, all right. So we're in, and after 2 seconds, we're now looking at the camera's C frame, and we can't change the camera's C frame. It fell because it wasn't anchored, but as you can see, we don't see our character. So that is that. But now, let's say after like 3 seconds, we want it to be, we want it to change back. So what we do is we wouldn't change its C frame. Instead, we just change its camera type. So just copy this line, paste it down below, and say custom. And now after 2 seconds, it should make it in this C frame. And after 3 seconds, it should change back to ours, so we can move it again. All right, so here we are, it changed, and then we wait 3 seconds, and it changed back. So that works perfectly. So that's really useful. For example, if you wanted to do a quest like in my last video, but make it more advanced. So when you touch the part, it actually like shows you the part, like in the when the GUI opens. So anyway, that is that. So that is how to change its C frame. You'd need a part to do this. That's the easiest way to do it, because then you could just set its C frame to that. That's just the easiest way to do that. But that's what I would recommend. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. This is only a part 1, so there will be more. And as always, this is SaberKai668.